Hello guys, in this Genius File Studio with another video. Today Genius File Studio presents planets. There are many celestial objects in our universe, and there are billions, trillions, quadrillions, infinity objects that are just uncountable. Because it's so uncountable and we want to learn more about where we live in and how we live, scientists have broken down our universe into a hierarchy. So we're gonna look at our hierarchy or our solar system. Our solar system also has many celestial objects, at least more than a trillion. But we are going to look at the more massive objects that we know about since the really early ages of human life. And we're going to look at the planets because planets are the most nearest to what we believe. Like it's what we use a lot in our daily life. So let's learn about that today and talk about it. So this is not an exact drawing of our solar system, but this is a good diagram to understand our solar system. So we have right now we have we have all these objects. We have 8 main objects. So we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. These 8 planets in total, 8, are separated into 2 different categories, both because of size and mass, and what that mass is made of. So these are called the rock planets. So this is called the rock planets. And the other category are gas giants. So let's first talk about the rock giants first because rock planets, excuse me, first because they are smaller and they're the first planets and the closest to the sun. There's no exact thing called first planet, but um because rock the sun is in the middle, and we usually go outward in like going outward. That's why whatever comes first after the sun is usually the first planet. Otherwise, there's no actual thing called the first planet. So first we'll be talking about Mercury. So Mercury is the first planet in our solar system. Mercury. And Mercury is one of the smallest planets in our solar system as well. And it's made of mainly rock. It has an iron nickel core, but it isn't as strong as our Earth's iron nickel core. It's about 25% as strong. This is because Mercury does not have such a big size, it doesn't have so much a mass, and because of the sun. Because the sun is so close to Mercury, the sun's solar winds and solar storms weaken the atmosphere and don't let it increase. Don't let the atmosphere densify and become stronger and more resistible. So that's why Mercury has a really small atmosphere. And this atmosphere also has another problem, which is craters or asteroids. Because the sun's gravitational pull is so much, so many asteroids and comets from all over the solar system are attracted to it. And because Mercury is before the sun, Mercury gets most of all the beatings by these asteroids. And because Mercury does not have an atmosphere or a defense system against these asteroids, Mercury has so many craters, and because it's a rock giant, it is mainly made of stone and rock. And Mercury has some really awkward climate and weather changes. Because Mercury does not have an atmosphere, it is unable to have a consistent atmosphere or consistent weather change. So that's why the weather changes at a really rapid and unsteady rate. What I mean by this is that in the morning, Mercury is more than 500 degrees Fahrenheit. It's more than 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and in the in the night, it is less than negative 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So this shows there's weird weather change Mercury has that makes it really awkward in a way. But this makes sense because Mercury does not have an atmosphere, and this atmosphere makes Mercury have a really unsteady climate and look. Next, we will be talking about um, our next planet in our solar system, which is Venus. Right there, Venus. So, Venus is the second planet, or the second to coming to Sun planet. Venus is, although the second planet in the solar system, the hottest planet in the solar system. Venus, because of its really dense atmosphere, is which is the exact opposite of Mercury, because of its really dense atmosphere, which is made out of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Let me draw that in better. Because it's made of CO2 or carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid, and that's what clouds are made of. It is it captures it, like, so if I were to draw this as an atmosphere of Venus, it would absorb all the heat, but it won't let the heat come out of the atmosphere. So that's why it is continuously circulating at a high speed, and it's in this heat makes Venus really hot. It is plus 800 degrees, so it's more than 800 degrees Fahrenheit. And this temperature allows metal to melt. So that's why many of NASA's satellites, excuse me, when they've landed on Venus, they would barely even stay half an hour before melting by all the heat and pressure. And Venus is just slightly smaller than Earth, so that's why its pressure and gravity is almost the same as Earth. So that's pretty much it about Venus. And just a fun fact, Venus is named after the Greek goddess of love, or Aphrodite. So let's move on. Now we'll be talking about Earth, or our home planet, Earth. So Earth is, wait a second. Earth is our home planet and is the most special planet out of all the other planets in our solar system, because it supports life. It's the only planet in our solar system, by what scientists believe, that supports life. Earth has this because of its atmosphere. Did you see what happened to Mercury? Because it didn't have this atmosphere, Mercury was a really unsteady and unsupportable planet for life. So, if Earth, so how does an atmosphere play such a big role in supporting life? Well, if you were to look deeper into the Earth's core, the Earth's core is made out of the outer core, so it's outer parts of the outer core, and in the inner core. So the inner core is just a plain iron ball, which consists of about 25% of everything, all the mass on Earth. So the core is a plain iron ball, and around it there is this really hot plasma, really hot lava that circulates around it at a really high velocity. So based on one of the laws of physics, at any really hot liquid that is in motion causes a gravitational atmosphere, or a gravitational force. or an atmosphere. So this atmosphere is what helps our Earth from cosmic radiation. So cosmic radiation, solar radiation, asteroids, and really strong gravitational pull from other planets in our solar system. So that's how our Earth's core protects us and makes life be supportive, and it supports life. Then after the outer core, there is a really, really big chunk of a big chunk of our Earth, which is the mantle, which is plain lava and rock. And after that, which is barely even 1% of our whole Earth's mass, the crust. And even though our crust is so thick and so its depth is so much, yet it's only 1% of all of our Earth's mass. So this is a really stunning to know fact about our Earth. So next we will be talking about Mars, which is the fourth planet and the last planet in the rock planets category. So Mars is named after the Greek god of war, or Ares. Mars is one really cool fact about Mars is that its soil is red because of all the iron, inside in the core, because of all that iron. And this is the atomic form. Because of all this iron, it's rusted so much that it is red. It's it's rust, to be exact. And based on scientific theories, Mars may have actually supported life because Mars actually has a pretty strong atmosphere. But due to the not cosmic radiation, I don't know why I'm keep on saying that, but our solar radiation, it is unable to strengthen, like what happens to Mercury. And also because if you look at Mars, on both its north pole and its south pole, it has ice caps. So this is what shows that Mars may have actually supported life. Mars actually also has the same core style as our Earth, with an iron ball in the middle and really hot lava circulating around it. But this lava has now thinned to so less that its gravity, its atmosphere is unable to form again. Some other cool facts about Mars is that it has the tallest mountain in our solar system. So if this were the mountain, Mount Everest would be about this small compared to it. So this mountain is about twice as tall as Mount Everest. Yet it is made of mainly rock. It also has the deepest and most oldest canyon in our whole solar system. This super duper duper deep canyon may have actually formed by flowing water. And this canyon is so many times bigger than our Grand Canyon in Arizona. So this shows that Mars may have actually supported life and its speciality to our known solar system. Next, we will be talking about, now we're going to be moving to our next category of big celestial objects in our solar system, which is now gas giants. So we're going to be talking about gas giants now. So this gas giant is called Jupiter. That's what it's named. Jupiter is named after the Greek god of all gods, or the Greek god of thunder, Zeus. And it's named. It makes sense to name it the god of all gods, because Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. It's If you were to put Earth right next to in, I'll talk to you later about the size, but Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. Jupiter's equator is moving so fast that one day on Jupiter is about 8 hours, 8 Earth hours. And this is a really stunning fact. And because of this, all the chemicals and all the atoms and all the different types of um, elements, they separate into different categories or layers. So that's how Jupiter has stripes. And now Jupiter also has one another cool fact about Jupiter is its storm. If you were to look at one of at the bottom right of Jupiter, if you're facing in the right direction, you will see a dark red spot. This red spot is named the red spot, which is a pretty obvious name, and has been a storm that has been raging for centuries. It's been starting to fade by scientific theories, and now we can talk about the difference between Jupiter and Earth. If this were the red spot, it's not such a good drawing, but if this were the red spot, we could cram 10 Earths inside it. So like a couple Earths on the top and a whole bunch of Earths inside it. So that's how huge Jupiter is, and it makes sense to call it the god of all gods or the planet of all planets. Another cool fact about Jupiter is that its core is scientists are unsure about the middle of Jupiter because Jupiter has such a strong atmosphere. It's more than twice as strong as our Earth's atmosphere. It's so strong that if you were to be in an area where there are no radioactive waves, let's say you were in a desert and you were riding a car and you lost connection to your radio, you would hear the songs, that's what scientists call them, the songs of Jupiter, which is like the clittering, clattering, and the vibration of all the gravity, the gravitational pull. So that's how strong Jupiter is. And without Jupiter, Earth wouldn't even be able to survive because its gravitational pull, because of all its mass, is so strong that all the asteroids, because the asteroid belt is right here. So because of its gravitational pull, the asteroids are staying in this area and are going toward Jupiter. If Jupiter were not here, all these asteroids would be going toward Earth, and Earth would be uninhabitable. Anyways, scientists are unable to know what Jupiter's core is made of because it has such a strong gravitational force, such a strong atmosphere. But for that, you need a hard iron object and a whole bunch of lava. But Jupiter's a gas giant; it's not a rock planet. So we're unsure. Scientists say that Jupiter may have really hot water, if not lava. But we are unsure what the core of Jupiter actually is. So that's pretty much it about Jupiter's main facts. Now we'll be moving to the second planet, or the sixth planet of our solar system, and the second planet of all the gas giant category, which is Saturn. Saturn is, you can tell by the picture, is the second biggest planet in our solar system and is mainly specialized because of its rings. Saturn is named after the father of all the Greek gods, and his name is Titan. And Saturn is like how I told you, its main speciality is its rings. It has about 7 rings, and each ring has different elements, different asteroids and comets, which have different elements in them. But most of them are all brown, gray, white, and black. Saturn may actually lose its ring because of its gravitational force and its pretty fast spin. It may launch all the asteroids in its ring and it may lose its ring. And it will look really awkward to look at a planet like that. Saturn is also moving because it's moving at a pretty fast speed. It also has a really small and really faded stripes on its surface of its atmosphere. Saturn, another fun fact about Saturn is if you were to either make a huge bathtub that would fit Saturn or shrink Saturn into the size of a beach ball, and fill up a whole tub full of fresh water. If you were to put Saturn on it, it would float like a sponge. Because although Saturn has so much of mass, so much of gas, so much of rock, so much of mass, it is less dense than water. So that's why Saturn would float in a tub like that. So that's also pretty much it about Saturn. Now we'll move to the third planet of the gas giants and the seventh planet in our solar system, the second to last, which is Uranus. Uranus also has some pretty interesting facts. Uranus is named one cool fact about the namings of these planets is that Jupiter is named after Zeus, which is the generation after Saturn the or Kronos, which is the Titan. So it is the exact bottom descendant. So Zeus is the son of Kronos, and then Kronos is the son of Uranus, which is the god of heavens, and is believed to be the god of all gods, like the main fundamentals of Greek gods and mythology. So that's just one fun fact you should know about these three planets. Anyways, Uranus is it's one really fun fact about Uranus is its ring and its angle. Uranus is at about a 180-degree angle so that its rings looks like a blade facing north-south. So it looks really awkward and really cool both at the same time. Uranus has this little tealish bluish color because it is mainly made of uh, methane and methane, hydrogen, helium. It does not have nuclear fusion if you want to know, because if it did, Uranus would be making big blasts and explosions like the sun. So it has hydrogen, helium, and nitrogen, and ethane. So it has so many elements that makes it have this bluish tealish um color. So Uranus is that's a really fun fact about Uranus, and Uranus also has couple 20 moons. Jupiter, I forgot to tell you this, but the gas giants have the most moons in the whole solar system. Venus and Mercury do not have moons, and one prediction for that is because Mercury and Venus are so close to the sun that and because of the sun's gravity, it's unable to make its own gravity form a moon. So that's why Mercury and Venus do not have a moon. And then Earth has one moon, and Mars has two moons, which are two big asteroids. But Jupiter has more than 60 moons. Most of them are all asteroids, but the rest of them are actual moons. Saturn has more than 40 moons. Uranus has more than 30 moons. And then Neptune, which I'll talk to you about later, will also have a lot of moons. So that's pretty much it about Uranus. And now I'll be finally talking about Neptune, which is the final planet. Neptune is named after the wait a second. Neptune is named after the Greek god of the ocean, or Poseidon. Neptune, we know that it has about 20 plus moons. So it's more than 20 moons. It also has a really faded ring. And Jupiter also has a pretty faded ring as well, because of all like the dust and asteroids and all that stuff from the collisions that orbits around it. We do not know so much about Neptune and Uranus because it is really far away from Earth, and not so many not so many not so many satellites are launched there. So that's why Neptune and Uranus, we don't know so much about it. but we do know a lot about the other planets because they're closer and we have a lot more stuff, a lot more satellites there. So, as you can see, the planets in our solar system, planets solar in our solar system have many interesting facts that are really unusual and are really worth looking at. So this is what we should learn from this, is that although we say that there's so much cool stuff outside in our universe and we haven't studied that yet, we still haven't studied the stuff inside our own solar system that is also really interesting. Like we haven't even studied the full Neptune and Uranus that much, and we're trying to jump to other places. So that's why please like this video, subscribe, and I hope you like this video. Press the bell icon as well because Genius File Studio will be releasing on lots and lots of videos. So it's best for you guys to watch these videos and know a lot about our universe. Thank you for watching and see you guys later. Bye-bye.